Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I don't always tell stories by candlelight, but because it's Halloween month and it's spooky season, I thought I'd do a little bit of a spooky theme one for you guys. I thought I love Halloween, so I only thought it's right that you guys would enjoy it as much as me. I'm gonna tell my ghost stories because I've had a lot of run-ins with the paranormal my entire life, and some obviously not paranormal, just things that have happened to me that have been pretty scary and pretty, I don't know, just pretty not fun. So I'm gonna tell them in chronological order and hope you guys enjoy them. Cue the spooky music now. I'd say my first one started when I was 5 or 6. I was petrified of going to sleep, and here's the reason why. It was just a normal night and my bedtime came up, which being a 6-year-old, it was 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. and my mum and dad were like, okay, come on now, time for bed. I did my normal, you know, a typical 8-year-old, and I want to go to bed, but I went anyway. And my parents went back downstairs because they're not going to go to bed at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And the way my bedroom is, my old bedroom is kind of situated, it's the bed was facing the doorway. I could not sleep with my door shut, which is a very different story now because I have to sleep with my door shut because of this. My bedroom used to look above the attic. I had the TV on and I heard knocking noises coming from the attic. First quiet, pretty scary stuff to hear knocking coming from the attic, and it couldn't have been a bird, it couldn't have been an animal or a toy falling or whatever would be in the attic, because it was repeated knocking, like knocking on the door. So I called my parents up and my mum came up. You know, she thought I was doing it to getting out of going to sleep. But as soon as she came upstairs, the knocking stopped completely. And she would be upstairs for 5 minutes, and I was like, I kept saying to it, no, wait, it's gonna knock, wait, it's gonna knock. And it never did. She went back downstairs, and as soon as she went back downstairs, you can guess, it started knocking again. But this time louder. So I freaked out, yelled my mum back upstairs, and as soon as she came upstairs, the knocking stopped. And this carried on for a good hour. She went downstairs, came back up, went downstairs, came back up, and whenever she went back downstairs, it would start up again, and when I went back, you know, whenever she came back up, it would stop. I was in tears. I was absolutely traumatized because the knocking got louder and louder and louder and faster and faster. And I remember being so scared. Obviously an 8-year-old, it's going to be scary. They both came up to bed like 10 o'clock and I wasn't asleep, obviously I was petrified. And the knocking stopped completely, and it never happened again. I wish I have a better ending. I wish I have a better, it was a ghost whisper, I don't know what it was, but it stopped and I've never really heard it again. Touch wood. The next is not really a scary one. It's not anything to be oh my god about. It actually is really kind of nice, and I find it very comforting to me. My house is haunted. Just let that sink in for a minute. My house is haunted. Yeah, but not by anything malicious, not by anything I don't know. It's by my grandma and granddad. And whenever my parents go out of town, whenever they're away for the weekend, whenever they're not here, I'll hear movement and I'll hear whistling, and my granddad always used to whistle. I told my mum and dad and they wouldn't believe me. Again, no one's gonna believe. Can we just be like open and honest and say, if you are preaching or you're saying that you're witnessing a ghost to your parents, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna think you're high or drunk or not sober. They're not gonna think you're in your right mind. It was a couple years ago, and me and my boyfriend at the time were in bed, and it was like, I want to say 1, 2 in the morning, and we heard someone walking coming down the stairs and then walking across the landing. And we have a particular floorboard that if you step on it, it creaks and it makes a noise, and it's the only one floorboard in the entire landing that makes noise. And it doesn't happen randomly, it doesn't happen with the wind. The only way it can happen is if somebody steps on it or walks across it. We were in bed and it sounded like someone went up and went to the bathroom, and me and my boyfriend at the time put it down to my dad obviously getting up and going to the bathroom. Then the noise stopped and we thought, oh, he, you know, went back to bed. And then 20 minutes later it happened again. So we thought it was mum. You know, maybe dad, then dad woke mum up and then he went to the bathroom. You know, things like that, you put it down to stuff like that. You don't put it down to ghosts first. You don't. And then it happened again for the 3rd time. The noise didn't go into the bathroom. The noise stayed on the landing and walked back and forth and back and forth. But my boyfriend got kind of annoyed and went out to check and see what it was. And he went out and there was no one there. So he came back and he was like, oh, that's weird. I was like, you know, it happens. I was used to it at this point. And it happened all night. The next morning rolls around and we're all up, and it's a weekend, so we're all in the living room and we're all kind of watching films and having family time. And then my dad turns to me and my boyfriend and goes, you two walking up and down last night, you were doing my head in. What? Me and my ex look at each other and we're like, that wasn't us. That wasn't us. We didn't walk across the landing. We didn't do any of that. We thought it was you. We came out to check if it was you. And dad said, well, I came out to check it was you, but there was no one on the landing. And my mum starts laughing. And she looks at my dad and she goes, who used to walk up and down the landing when they couldn't sleep? And my dad like goes blank face for a minute, and then he kind of like his face lights up and he goes, my mum used to. My grandma used to. She stayed with us for a while, and whenever she couldn't sleep, she stayed in the small bedroom, which is where I used to be, and she used to walk up and down the landing in a fluffy, you know, fluffy slippers and a nightgown. I felt safe. So my house is haunted, not by malicious, malevolent, horrible demon spirits, but by my grandma and granddad. I wish it was better. I wish there was a demon haunting me. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. What am I saying? No. No, I don't. I don't wish there was a demon. I like my grandma and granddad being here. This one is not demonic. It's not spiritual. It's something that actually happened and scared me half to death. And I still don't know if it was intruders. I still don't know if it was people kind of messing around. I don't know to this minute. My parents, they were at an event, I want to say like a party or something, and they wouldn't be back till like extremely late. I'm 21 now, so I want to say at the time I was like 18 and I was at college. So I was doing coursework the entire night because it was my final year. And I was doing it, and the way I live in, I know I sound like I'm an interior designer, I'm not, I'm just trying to map it out for you. The way our living room is, we have a massive window here, a sofa here, the TV's here, and then directly across from the sofa is the door leading to the kitchen. And then directly across from the sofa in the kitchen is a massive window, huge window. So I was doing coursework on the sofa, watching TV. It was stormy, it was a bit of a, you know, it was raining, it was a bit of a shit weather, but you know, you get that when you live in England. And I remember looking up, kind of half-assed, you know, as you do glance around, but I remember looking up and I saw someone walked past the kitchen window. And I thought, well, that's impossible, because to get into the kitchen you've got to come through the gate round the back, round the other side of the house, go round the grass onto the decking of the patio, come down steps, another set, you know, come down 2 steps, past a bit of like grass and bushes and whatever. You've got to be there for a reason. So I thought, you know, my eyes are playing tricks on me. It was dark, you know, didn't really put it down too much. And then it happened again. Walked the other side, and I was a bit more freaked out, a bit more apprehensive. So I did something that was probably incredibly not clever, and I don't recommend it. I opened the door and turned the back light on, so I could see the entire back garden, so I could see it, or backyard if you're American. And there was nothing there. No one was there. I just put it down to my 2 cats, and I went back to doing my coursework. Because I was so freaked out and because I was so scared, I kept looking up, and I kept, you know, my eyes then started to play tricks on me, because the more I was looking at it, the more I wanted to see something, if that makes sense. I didn't look up because I was keeping an eye on things. I looked up because I heard a knock on the glass. A thud on the glass to get my attention. I remember looking up and someone was stood there, but I couldn't see their face and I couldn't see who it was. They had a hood, like a hoodie, and they were covering the face, and I couldn't see who it was. And I just remember, it's that moment where everything stops still, everything stops dead. You don't know what to do, you don't know if you should move, you freeze like a possum. You freeze. I couldn't take my eyes off him in case he moved, in case he went anywhere. I've never been so scared. My heart was going a mile a minute, not moving. I can't see his face. I don't know who it is. I don't know what he wants, if it's a he, if it even is a he. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. I'm getting goosebumps. I finally snapped out of it. I finally managed to drag my eyes away from him. I grabbed my phone and I went to call 999, and as I look up, gone. He just vanished. So maybe it was a ghost, maybe it was a spirit, I don't know. But I didn't call 999. I'm that white girl in a movie that gets killed. I opened the door, went outside to look. There was nothing. And because it's raining, we have a bit of decking that's covered by a roof, and you have to walk through it, obviously, to get to the back of the kitchen. There was no footprint, so no one's walked across the decking to get to the kitchen. No one's walked anywhere, because you'll be able to see wet footprints, and there wasn't any. Not a single one. You start to question then whether what you've seen is real or not. You start to question whether you were just imagining things. I wasn't imagining things. I know I wasn't. I 100% know in my mind. And whenever I go into the kitchen now, whenever I sit on the sofa overlooking the kitchen window, I will always look for that shadow. When I'm home alone, I will close the blinds so I can't see out, and I will not open them. So yeah, there you have it. There's 3 ghost, spooky, whatever stories. I'm sorry they weren't that good. I'm sorry they were a bit pants. You know, they're true, they're real, they're 100% accurate. I've been through it, my mum and dad have been through it. If you wanted to, you could ask my mum and dad, but they don't have social media, so you're a bit out of luck on that one. So because it's Halloween season, I will be doing more videos kind of themed around spooky things, maybe ghosts or carving pumpkins or reading tarot cards. I'm a very spiritual person, so I'd like to bring more of that into my videos. If that's something you want to see, then give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Drop a comment down below what you would like to see. If you'd like to see anything at all, it'd be great to know. Don't forget to turn your bell on my notifications so you know every time I post. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week. Bye. Bye guys.